So we were kind of laughing about Kamala Harris being named as the AI czar. So, the czar of artificial intelligence.
It's so appropriate.
They said she's going to make sure that the technology is developed responsibly. Do you believe that she's going to be able to do that? She did such a great job as the border czar, I mean, it's no issue there. She did such a great job. We are going to get murked by robots. That's what's going to happen. We are going to get killed to death by robots in the next 6 months if her work as AI czar is anything like being the border czar. Oh my gosh. To death.
They'll kill us so hard, we'll die to death.
We're gonna go into Matrix hell. So I'm gonna delete it probably after the show, but I did the free trial on ChatGPT because I wanted to see what it's like. And Kane is my grandmother. I think he's possessed by her. He's like, did you go ahead and download the Satan? Just download that demonic device, the Satan device. ChatGPT is the devil.
I'm not wrong.
I'm not going to say I'm listening to. I wanted to ask it. This is what I asked it. I said, write a short summary of what it is like to be unburdened by what has been in the style of Kamala Harris.
Oh, please read it.
Well, it writes, quote, being unburdened by what has been can be a liberating experience. I have to perfect her voice. It allows us to move forward without the weight of past mistakes or regrets holding us back. It's an opportunity to unburden and start anew with an unburdened perspective, a fresh perspective, a renewed sense of purpose.
Maybe she has been using AI.
Is she AI? I mean, I'm just
Maybe
like
she has
wondering.
been.
Yeah, it's a little terrifying. So, and Steve asked her, or asked ChatGPT, same difference, draft a speech by Vice President Kamala Harris in which she talks about restaurants and entrepreneurship. Can you play that soundbite real quick that we just played for Today in these United States last segment? Because this is what we got the idea from, because she is the AI czar. Yeah, this is what she said. So this is where we got the idea.
And when I speak with small business owners and entrepreneurs, some of our younger small business owners actually self-identify as entrepreneurs. They're small business owners also. But we'll go with whatever you like. Small business owner or entrepreneurs.
Okay, just go along to get along. So Steve asked it, draft a speech by Vice President Kamala Harris in which she talks about restaurants and entrepreneurship.
Did not disappoint. I'll say that.
Oh, yeah, no, it's good. Good evening, everyone. I'm delighted to be here with you today to talk about my two favorite things, restaurants and entrepreneurship, which is spelled wrong. As we emerge from the pandemic, we're reminded of the resilience and determination of the American people, particularly those in the restaurant industry that they shut down. She says that, well, this is ChatGPT. Throughout the pandemic, restaurants have been the heart of our communities, providing a place for us to gather, share a meal, connect, blah, blah, blah. She talks about entrepreneurship, or the ChatGPT thing does. We must also support our restaurants by promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion. The restaurant industry has the potential to be catalyst for change, and we must ensure that it's a welcoming and inclusive place for all. Steve wants to ask ChatGPT to have, in the style of Elizabeth Warren, explain her ancestry.
On it right now.
He was thinking, I just can't even imagine what that is going to be like. Oh my gosh. My first prompt was, in the style of Kamala Harris, compose a text about why you love McDonald's. She was like, as a lifelong Californian, I've always been a fan of the Golden Arches. I'm like, what does that even have to do with it? Oh my gosh, it's too funny. It's just terrifying. This thing is actually terrifying. It really is. I don't really actually, yeah. It is. It's like demonic. It's I don't know. It's weird. So my youngest son, he's like, he goes, well, if the devil's going to be on earth, I think it's AI. Mm-hmm. That's what he said. He goes, it's totally AI.
Absolutely right.
That's weird. I mean, think about it. It's like the worst aspects of humanity, but without the morality. It's all logic. Because see, even logic, like if you go back to when I was in college, I remember learning about Peter Singer and having to read his books. And he was he talked about ethics and logic, etc. And ultimately, what I learned is that sometimes what is right is not logical. Sometimes what is good is not logical. But there is no sort of algorithm to infuse that knowledge into AI. AI is going to make a decision or a policy or hold a position based on what is logical and what makes sense, what is mathematically correct, etc. And sometimes good and true don't necessarily fit. And that's the problem. That's kind of like what Singer believes. Like that there were certain things that certain scenarios that he would discuss and that I would read in these books in class, and they weren't right. Sometimes they would result in the death of an innocent person, but if it was for the benefit of all, well, then that's, of course, that's the end. That is the proper end. So it was one of those things that all the means are justified if it promotes and accomplishes the main goal in the end. That's a terrifying concept. But that's the reality of this. I mean, a sterile, completely in just the most descriptive sense, very sterile, clinical, soulless logic that doesn't recognize nor value morals or ethics. That's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
On that note, your Elizabeth Warren speech is in.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So he asked
Do this all day.
write a speech in the style of Elizabeth Warren in which she talks about her Native American heritage and being a public school teacher. Oh boy. It is so bad.
You have time.
Okay, I do. So Elizabeth Warren in ChatGPT on being an American Indian states, quote, "My fellow Americans, I stand before you today as a proud Native American and a former public school teacher. My heritage and my experience in the classroom has shaped who I am and have driven me to fight for the values that matter most to all Americans. Growing up, my family instilled in me a deep respect for our Native American heritage." Oh my gosh. I want to ask it, come up with a clam chowder recipe for Powwow Chow Part 2. Just to see. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's so bad. That's so bad. But it's actually it's terrifying, and it's...
Go to the last paragraph. Just read the last paragraph of the Elizabeth Warren thing.
Of the Elizabeth Warren,
Just the last paragraph.
as ChatGPT.
Yes.
Oh boy. "So today I stand before you as a proud Native American and a former public school teacher, ready to fight for the values that matter most to all Americans. I believe that we can build a better future for ourselves and our children, one where every person has the opportunity to succeed and where our diverse backgrounds and experiences are celebrated and not denigrated." Well, they were denigrated because you were fake.
Yeah.
You blonde-haired, blue-eyed person. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with having blonde hair, blue eyes, but she literally filled out American Indian on her Harvard job application. Oh my gosh. Like,
Are you arguing with a robot right
I
now?
am totally arguing with a robot. You are damn right I am.